Alrighty, it says it's live. Hi, everybody. It's Abigail, and I'm so happy you guys are all here today. We're hopefully going to get some words. I'm joined today by the lovely Jules. Do you want to say what you've been working on?
So I have been working on my 2 projects for Camp Nano. So I have Project Heartbeat, which is a romance novella, and I have Project Grey 2, which is the sequel to my YA dark fantasy. And today I'm working in Grey 2, and I'm super excited.
I love Grey. I love the first Grey. Everything you've said about the whole series sounds so interesting. So. And today I'm working on the 3rd book in my adult fantasy series, which I actually am pretty good about picking names. So I have the official name. I'm just not going to quite share quite yet. But yeah. Let's see. Hosting is harder than just
you got to figure out all the buttons to click.
Figure out all the buttons and so yeah, so your stream went, I was on your stream yesterday and it went pretty well. What did you say? How far have you gotten in both your projects, word count wise?
So I have the goal of hitting 20,000 words in each project for the month. So a grand total of like 40,000 words. But each one has that 20,000 marker. And so I have, for Project Heartbeat, I have reached the 5,000 mark. So I'm a quarter of the way to my word count goal for Project Heartbeat. And I will be hitting that quarter of the way goal for Project Grey 2 today. I'm less than 1,000 away from it. So I should get that today during the stream.
Yay! That's so exciting. Wow. Okay.
Okay, lots of fun.
Is working on a fantasy novella. Awesome. That's fun. Yay, we're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us.
I was asking Abigail earlier, does your AA stand for Author Anonymous? I'm curious.
I don't know this too. I was like, you should ask. I want to know. Jackpot is here. Hello.
Jackpot was hitting the numbers yesterday. So hopefully you can do it again today.
I think Jackpot types really fast.
You can send some of that mojo my way, please.
Me too, while you're at it. Hannah is working on a horror work in progress. Hello, Hannah. And also dipping into a super secret project. Oh boy. Excited to hear about that. Vanya is here. Thank you for joining us. She's visiting her mom. You're behind. Hey, it's all right. It is what it is. Sometimes we gotta catch up, right? And you're writing a gothic haunted house novel. Ooh. I love anything like gothic or haunted house. So that sounds good to me.
I found a book several years ago that just has like the little synopsis of all the little gothic, like kind of penny novels that were published during the Victorian era. It's just kind of fun to flip through that. So
that's cool. Ah, okay. AA battery. Nice. It's the official Mr. P. Hello. How you doing? High five for horror project. Yes, I am not as brave as you guys. I feel like if I let my brain go there, it would get so dark, I would scare myself. So thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome, a bookish obsession. Thank you for coming. Wow, we have a good amount of people here today. Thank you all for coming. Alrighty, we want to start with a warm-up. 15 minutes. Does that sound good?
I like a 15-minute start.
I know you
We
do.
all know this.
Alrighty, pressing the buttons. Alrighty, 15. Can you see that all right?
Yes.
Awesome. Alrighty. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty. That was our first 15-minute sprint. And we had some people pop in over here. Hi, Sledge. And then we also had Charlie pop in and Allie.
Hello. I caught the very tail end of Allie's stream this morning. I managed to get myself up, sort of, in time for... I'm not a morning person, so...
Typically I am, but I was telling Jules before we got on that I may have stayed up to like 2:30 last night, so I wasn't a morning person this morning, so...
Well, I got 326 words that time. I finished off the very tail end of a scene. It needed like two or three sentences, and then started the next scene. So I'm doing pretty good.
I had a little more trouble getting into the flow. I got 213 words, which isn't terrible, but they're probably going to have to be heavily edited words. So, but sometimes that happens.
Well, I always know that I'm sort of I know that I need editing. My rough drafts are always rough. Even in academic writing and whatnot, I always do at least 2 drafts. I never turn in the first draft because it's always crap. So gotta just apply the same concept to fiction writing. So
yes, editing is really important. So let's see, Vanya got 375 words. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Allie's proud of you. Vanya's saying hello to all the new peeps. You got 19. Well, you joined pretty late, so that's not bad. You got coffee and 19 words. I consider that a win. So coffee's at least 200. I agree. Even though I don't drink coffee, I still agree. What the heck? 943 words. That jackpot, man. Ended the scene from yesterday and started a new one. Awesome. You were talented with that typing. 477 that time, but a really gory bit, so it's pretty free-flowing. That's awesome.
Nice.
477, that's pretty good.
It's a nice, solid number.
It is. 321 for our AA.
Nice.
No, I'm just going to say AA battery. No, I'm not. That's a nice amount, too. I'm still outlining, says the official Mr. P.
But outlining is sometimes, if you are a plotter, outlining helps you later.
Yes.
Whereas us that are discovery and pantsers, we have a little trouble with plot holes if we don't plot it all out. So you're saving yourself some trouble for later.
Yeah. And you're making it so you can get the words faster later. So, you need to go at your pace. There's no right time or wrong time to start the writing. Each step, I should say, because...
Sorry, I apparently need a second cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Started talking about coffee and my caffeine goes nope.
And he's like, yeah, that counts for 200 words at least, so get me some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Allie said amen. I think, Jackpot, you need to make a video or something about how you type so fast. How you get all those words.
Video exporting.
I got my video exporting and started on a picture for world building article I'm working on. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I was seeing some of the maps that you posted on Instagram.
I did too.
And I was like, ooh, I need to make a map.
I have made maps. It's a lot of fun if you have the right tools. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm getting really excited about Charlie's work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
I love the gores coming so naturally. You must be near element in the genre. I think Hannah is. I love how like the most like chill, like calm, just laid back people are like, yeah, I write horror or like thrillers or you know what I'm saying? Like it's just so funny.
The public persona doesn't match all the action and stuff that's going on in your head.
Yeah, they just save all their like violets for the book.
Which is probably better for your arrest record, right?
Yeah. It's better for your blood pressure. Hannah's asking if Charlie has a blog, and Charlie said that they have a world building summer camp on World Anvil, and they're working on the prompt to create a new subculture. Very nice. Let's see. I have not.
I'm gonna write that down though.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Allie.
Mm-hmm.
Maps. Charlie says maps are hard. I like using WonderDraft. It makes a lot easier. Yeah, I use. I think it's like the direct competitor of WonderDraft. I'll look it up later. But I had a lot of fun doing mine. But it is fun. It is time. It's pretty time consuming. More than you would think to like even plan out where the mountains go and where the rivers go. And making sure like that it's the technology cooperates. So figuring out the tool, but I agree. It sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. You probably watch 3 days of your life.
Hello, future me. Okay, I'm writing that one down too.
I love how we both go like quiet and like right.
Every time Allie makes a suggestion, we're just silent. Yeah, I probably will spend the next 3 days of my life.
I am perfectly okay with finding something to waste my life with. And to be like, I can't write yet. I have to watch this informative video.
Well, you have to stay on brand.
It's very easy. It's very easy. For the dawdling writer to procrastinate, I can find anything in the world as an excuse. I have to watch the rain fall. I have to cook, bake brownies, watch YouTube, stare into space, and pretend I'm writing a story in my head.
Working, right? I mean,
rearrange the stuffed animals in the living room window so that anybody who drives by thinks my family is insane.
That's great.
So I've always had stuffed animals as a kid. I just love them like soft and fluffy. The softer and fluffier, the better. And so we just have a whole bunch that we can't get rid of because they're like, sentimental. Not. And now that I have 3 nephews now, they come over, and so like we put them in the windows so that they can see them when they walk up to ring the doorbell. And so then we like rearrange them to be like, oh, the sheep's over here today, and today it's a unicorn, or today it's a penguin, or like the Buckingham Palace guard teddy bear type. Like, so it's just kind of a little bit of insanity to quell our insanity.
That's cute. Oh, I mean, it's not too insane, but because my mom has a collection of stuffed animals for their Christmas, so it's part of our Christmas decorations. And my niece loves them as well. So we always try to do that kind of stuff. So I don't think that's too insane. If anyone thinks it's insane, that's on them, not you. I mean, maybe they're right, but who's to say that's a bad thing, right? It's true. Dark fantasy horror. I can't write it personally, and I cannot watch any horror movies. I've tried, but horror books, I don't know why, but it works for me.
Yeah, I'm not good with jump scares.
Yeah, I think
that scares the crap out of me, and that is usually what they use the most.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not good at jump scares.
Yeah, me neither. I think if you have any sort of like trauma or anxiety, those things are just, at least for me, do not help. So, but that's a great thing with the book is there's no jump scares. So, oh, we got another suggestion.
Well, the WASD 20 was one that Allie had mentioned before. But Artifexion?
Artifexion. Nice. Finding
all the recommendations.
Oh, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for sharing. Oh, yes. Thank you for the recommendation. Let's see. Hello Futures Me series on building creating an empire is my fave. And he uses Avatar The Last Airbender examples, and you can't go wrong with that for reals.
Yes.
Indeed. I definitely have to be checking that out. All right. So Charlie says they do deep world building content and constructed language videos. Interesting. BTW, Tom Hicks from Hello Future Me's book on world building is great.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I tried with the language thing, and I was like, do I want to spend the time to make this realistic?
I took, I think, a basic 1 or 2 classes on linguistics in college, and I was not real attracted to it. So I never really pursued that further. I've got a couple of authors who have sort of like created their own that I think are kind of fascinating, but at the same time, I also recognize in myself as a reader, like once they started going past the like endearments that they call people in like the language, and once they start doing like whole poems or songs, and I just kind of skim over that because I want to get to the action. So as a reader, I recognize that that is not like my favorite part of the story. And so being as I'm not interested in writing it and I'm not like super into reading it, what would be the point for me to write it? So
I think that is important to think of yourself as a reader when you're writing to some extent. Just, well, if I'm reading this, what would I like and I dislike? And everyone's different when it comes to certain things like that. But I agree with you. I think it also can get confusing with another language to some extent. But it's, again, making sure you do it right. So
yeah.
Well, we know what Allie's going to be doing for the rest of the afternoon. Well, you'll have to dive into that book soon, Allie. Okay.
Great.
Ooh.
Check it out.
Another suggestion here. Vulgar. I just want to play around with that. Even if I don't use it. I just want to see what it's like. So thank you, Charlie. Allie says, if I had the money, I'd go back and get my master's in
linguini.
Linguini. You're gonna pasta. Yeah, pasta. Language, I'm just gonna skip over that. Language is so fascinating. It makes my little English teacher's heart happy. Aww.
Well, at the same time, I think it may have just been sort of like parallel disappointment, because at the same time I was taking the linguistics class and we were talking about like where to place your tongue in your mouth to make different sounds. I was like, this is not what I thought this was going to be. At the same time, I was taking a class on Old English, and it was from the professor who is like the resident expert on Lord of the Rings. And I was like, yes, he's going to be awesome. No.
Oh no.
We were like translating the annals from the churches on how much money or how much money they were receiving as tithes, or how many barrels of apples were substituted for coins. And I was like, this is so boring.
Wow, that's sad.
So I think it may just be sort of like I associate the linguistics with that time and that disappointment. Mm-hmm. So maybe I should give it another shot. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, it is pretty fascinating how we can do so much with our mouth and tongue and, you know, make different sounds and stuff. It's pretty awesome. But now I have to read it again. Oh boy. You know what? You guys can all read it. I don't need to say.
You should just say linguini from now on. Linguini.
And they're like, what? It's just some linguini. Okay, linguini, yay. Loved it in college. Sounds great.
Which, like, to be fair, is also probably true.
Probably. But I also couldn't make up a new language. It's just so much work. Yes, that's completely agree. Like, you stick your toe into trying it, and you're like, that is a lot. Maybe not. But the reason for making a language is not to show it off. It is to teach yourself how the cultures think. I like that. Yeah, because language does totally say a lot about the culture and like what the priorities are, and it's very true. Allie says, ha 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 ha. Sounds like my history of English language professor I had. We had to memorize the preface, wow, words, and prologue of Beowulf in Old English. That was rough.
Okay, so I never had to memorize it, but I have the Seamus Heaney side by side, Old English on the left and Modern English on the right. And I actually liked reading that, because then I could look over to the left and see the word origins and the similarities. And so, like, I would nerd out about that. But going to my professor's class, that was the only class I got a C in, and it dropped my GPA. I was so mad. But I just could not make myself go to class. It's really bad. And so, like, on finals day, he's like, so we're going to be having the Lord of the Rings class next semester. Are you going to come back? I kind of looked at him. I was like, no. It was just so, because he knew because I had nerded out with him about it like the first day of class. I was like, Lord of the Rings, Beowulf, Old English. I'm so excited. And then just like the rest of the semester, I didn't show up for half the classes because I was so damn disappointed.
That's sad.
So.
Oh, that's cool. I like that, because stereotypically it's always Latin. And so I think Old English should definitely be an interesting change. Beowulf in Old English is beautiful, at least to me. I'm a language, but I am a language nerd. I mean, no judgment here.
Nope.
Good for you.
I just judged my professor because he just made it so boring. That's all. Just that.
Yeah, maybe you do need to give another shot, because maybe it was just him. Because it is pretty beautiful. But alrighty, do we want to do another sprint?
Yes.
Now that it's been like 40 minutes of us talking about Old English and Ladini. All right, what do we want to do? How long?
Either like a 20 or 25.
Okay.
Around there. Anybody have any funky number suggestions? We like some funky numbers.
We do like some funky numbers. Make it interesting.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to save your document and drink your water.
Yes.
Since I just saw you drinking water, I was like, oh yeah.
Okay, we got 2323 or 2319. Have you done a 2319 in your sprint yet? Because I feel like you always are like, I'll do that next time. And then, because it always comes like in the second one, and then you never actually end up doing it.
Probably. Let's go for that then.
Let's go for that. And then we'll have some other good ones. Jackpot says 2332. So we'll do these ones after. But what number will break the 2020 curse we are living under? Is there a number?
If there is a specific number, we should all do it because.
Oh, Alley Cat popped in. Hello.
Welcome.
All right, 2319. Oops. Okay, and then I gotta. There we go. Yay! I figured it out. First try. All right, T. 2319. Sounds great to say. Anyways, in 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, that is the end of that sprint.
Yay!
How did we do? I got 513 words that time. What'd you get, Jules?
I'm 33 words short of my 5,000 mark. So I will get that during the next sprint. So I have written 913 thus far total. So it's about 600-ish, just shy of 600, I think.
Very nice.
587. Yeah.
Not too bad. Not too bad. We did good that round. How did everybody else do?
Yes. Don't forget to save.
Save
any
and
progress
hydrate
that you made. We had, if you hear sort of like mumbled voices, we have a guy who's coming to sort of like evaluate our land now that we've ripped out all the trees for like leveling it out. So they are outside talking with Dad. So maybe some conversation bits that are heard. I don't know how powerful my microphone is and if it catches that kind of stuff. So
we might get the eavesdrop,
warning, I guess.
That's what you're saying. That's what's interesting.
I could always move the microphone closer to the window.
I don't know if it's the most interesting conversation to eavesdrop on. Alrighty. Vanya got 535 that time. Very nice. The official Mr. P got 217. Awesome. Megan, which I don't think we saw you pop in, so hello. Got 311. Awesome.
Nice.
Allie got 186.
And if you had more coffee, add another 200 to that.
Yes. And Hannah got 747.
Nice.
Did Jackpot give you some tips? Well, Jackpot got 1,000.
Holy cow.
106. You are on fire today. Wow. Congratulations on hitting a record.
That is awesome.
With us. Charlie uploaded their video and continued working on that picture. Awesome. Yeah, those maps take a long time, so that's where
the video takes a long time too.
Yes, it does. I didn't have more coffee. I missed opportunity.
Darn.
103 words and finished a death scene. It was a peaceful death. Well, I feel like that's worth some extra words too, because the emotions behind death. Fun rate, draining, depending. Yeah. Awesome. Well, everyone did really well that time.
We did.
Again, Hannah, did you get tips from Jackpot that you aren't sharing? Because
who knows? I did. I went to one of Camille Myrick's streams recently, and she started doing something where she goes and she sort of jots down the numbers that everybody gets during the stream, and then she adds it all up and puts like the stream total for everybody. And so it's usually some ginormous, ridiculous number. So I may try that next time. I don't know, but it was kind of fun. But it'll be even larger if Jackpot continues to come.
And if Jackpot gets some tips, then we all make a really, really big number, which is awesome. But Allie asked, have y'all ever cried while writing a death scene, or any other emotional type scene? I have. Have you?
I don't know that I have, but I'm usually not like a huge crier. So I don't know. I don't think I have. But then again,
Aw.
I'm not entirely sure I've ever cried after reading a scene either. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a heartless, emotionless.
That is or you just save your tears for, I don't know.
When I'm frustrated, usually. Like if I'm frustrated.
When you're frustrated.
Or when I'm watching like
Hannah,
videos of soldiers coming home and they're like puppy or cat. Like
yeah.
it's like those, it's like such a specific like type of, yeah. So I usually don't cry much at all, but those get me.
I cried like those, and then like the ones where like the wife will say I'm pregnant and like the couple has been like struggling. That gets me every time because man. But Hannah said that she has not cried writing a scene, but she did while writing a poem. I have done with poems a lot of crying with those. So,
well, with poetry, it's always really interesting because you don't have the extra verbiage a lot of time, and so each word is much more powerful, much more impactful. So I definitely understand crying with poetry more than I do with a paragraph.
A lot of times, poetry is pretty personal. It can be pretty personal. Like for me, I would never share my poetry because it's like super close to my heart. So with writing, it's not really personal. It's not about me. It's about my characters. So it's a little different. All right. Alex said, I cry watching or reading someone else's story, but when I write my own, I already know it's coming. So it doesn't make me so sad. That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. It's like that you on St. Patrick's Day, like you can see somebody coming with their little pinchy fingers. And like, so you're like, all right, this is going to hurt versus like when somebody sneaks up behind you.
Yeah.
And you're not expecting it.
Yeah. Alicat says, I kind of have. I'm not an emotional person. Sometimes I tear up and feel very sad and depressed, but that's about it. It doesn't happen often, though.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. So, yes, but I am a crier. It hits me especially hard when it's a character I love. Yeah.
Yeah. I know I'm much more liable to get mad. Like if a character that I love is unexpectedly killed off, I get mad.
How dare you?
I'm like,
how dare you?
like author. So, and I usually don't like spoilers for other people, but I did one time when an author killed off a character, and this was like when we were in college and we had gone to like Borders before it closed down, and we were all sitting there reading books like to see if we wanted to use our limited funds to buy them, and so I got to a point and I was like, what? And my friend was reading the same series, but she wasn't as far along as I was. And I was like, he killed her. And she's like, what? So I spoiled it for her and I was like, oops, sorry. Didn't mean to say it. Yeah.
Oh boy. Sometimes it is like, for me, like I have a friend that was like, does any of these, like she watched like the first season and she's like, do any of these particular characters die? And I had to say yes. And she's like, well, then I can't watch it because I will literally get so depressed. So
was it Game of Thrones?
Marley and Me killed me. No, it wasn't. But I will not watch Marley and Me because I know I will die. So I get you, Allie. Typically it's like there's certain dog, like I will, when it comes to dog movies, I'm like, somebody else watched this before. Tell me if the dog dies.
Yeah.
I have to know. If the dog dies, I'm gonna be miserable. So
Yeah. I think I remember crying as a kid watching Homeward Bound. I don't know if you've seen that one, but you've got like the golden retriever, the I think pit bull mix, and the cat, and they jump off the moving truck, and then they have to like find their way across country, like through the woods, to their house, like to their old house, because that's where home is to them. It's very sad. So.
Vanya says, I never cry at my own writing, but often when I read. Makes sense. Maybe it has something to do with, like Allie said, about you know it's coming.
Yeah.
Where you're like, ha ha ha, evil mastermind.
Yeah.
Megan says, I've been writing a story about grief, and some of what I'm writing has hit close to home, so a little crying. Sometimes crying when it hits a little close to home, sometimes it can be good though to some therapy to let those tears out, feel it.
That cathartic feeling.
Yeah. Allie's missed borders.
It was a great alternative to Barnes and Noble. And
yeah.
Now it's just not there.
They're all dying. So sad. Charlie says that they miss bookstores. The closest one is 60 miles away. Wow. The cost of living in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think mine is like, I have a Barnes and Noble that's like 20, 30 minutes away.
Okay.
So
I think mine's only about 15 now that we've moved. It used to be like 30 minutes away. So now we've got one that's relatively close. And there used to be several more independent stores, but now I think they're down to 1 or 2 in the area. So, yeah. Bookstores are fun.
They are. I remember going to one Barnes and Nobles that had like a lot of art in it, and they had like multiple stories, and I was just like, because all the Barnes and Nobles I've ever been to was like
one story.
Pretty standard one story, and it was awesome. My mom, like the only time my mom like lost me in the store and instead of the other way around of me losing her in the store, that was in that Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I think authors kill off our favorite characters just because.
I know. I kind of feel like some of that with Harry being just never really getting that much of a family kind of was unsatisfying to me. So,
or like thinking you're going to gain it and then rip it away again.
Yeah. So. It happened so much in that series to me, like even at the end with some of the deaths, like his last father figure, like all of them, like just what did he have at the end? A girlfriend?
Who really should not have been. Like, it's so weird. Like the whole like, no, Hermione's my sibling. Bullshit. Like, sorry to cuss, but
okay, we know what you ship in Harry Potter. Yeah, so people are commenting on the Homeward Bound. Yeah.
And that and Milo and Otis was another one.
I have avoided watching that one because so the song was sad but good, apparently. Sang a Homeward Bound song in high school. Cool. And then Turner and Hooch, I have not seen that one, Sledge.
Either.
So I should not watch it, is what you're saying?
Probably. It's my guess.
But they say that the dog was amazing. So
So there's a really good dog, but it makes you cry. In other words.
But it makes you cry. Is it worth it? All right. Jackpot says their protagonists got bit by a vampire. That count as killing a character? Well, no, I never cried.
They have a new life that they think is better as an undead vampire, then no.
I mean, they may technically mourn a life that they had planned out and stuff, depending if they didn't want it.
Yeah.
It can kind of be like...
But if you find happiness in the new form of existence, I don't think it's necessarily killing off the character. So
yeah. It's a kind of a grief, but not quite a death grief. I kind of agree.
Like the like, oh, psych, I'm not really dead moment. Yeah.
That never happened. Because it was just like, wait, he just like passed through the veil. Okay, like, and but
yeah, I was like, okay, so when is Harry gonna learn the spell to bring him back from beyond? Like, right. At the last moment.
It's like, and I think part of it is like it never really was explained what it was until after. So it was like, is he there? He was there, and then he wasn't there. That it was just really confusing. Anyways, character deaths have to be essential to the plot. Agree. And character development. What many authors don't realize is that the ramifications of those deaths and how difficult it really is. Yeah, it seems like so many heroes just pick up and keep going on. It's like, no.
Yeah, which that's one thing that I do appreciate about George R. Martin. As much as like I hate when the characters are dying, like he set out to tell the story of just how badly like war and conflict and politics messes up life. And he shows you that. Like, because everybody gets screwed over. So.
You're starting wars, Jules. You're starting wars.
I know. It's just like there are so many pointers where she was initially beginning to like develop that relationship between Hermione and Harry. Like there are so many pointers and they're really, really obvious. And then somewhere along the line, she just decided, I don't think I want to go with the obvious anymore. And then it just like takes a real hard right turn.
Yeah.
And so you spent like all of the formative world building, like building this ship. And then you're just like, I'm going to abandon this and I'm going to hop over here. So it was very weird. But yeah.
Yeah.
But I just like the more I hear about J.K. Rowling and like the more she does those like weird, oh wait, I didn't really mean that. Like it should have been this. Like 5 years after date. I'm like, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
If it wasn't important for you in the writing, then it's not important to say after.
Yeah.
And
then everything else that she's been doing
right
and whatnot.
Yes, as Charlie's discussing. I'm trying really hard to separate the art from the artist. Because it seems so contrary to everything that she wrote in Harry Potter, but
yeah, I mean, her whole like the whole model is like standing up for like the little guys and being a better human being
and like, you know, when it comes to purebloods versus mudbloods and stuff, she had so many great themes about being yourself and
yeah.
Oh, Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Still don't know if it's worth it because, you know, crying, but
good to know. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, different movie. Not a pet, but still Wilson.
Oh yeah, that movie. I saw that movie as a kid, and that scared me about. That made me think about being lost by myself on an island. So, yes, I I never got the Ginny Harry thing at all. It was like, oh, now they're kissing. Wait. Especially in the movies. It was way worse in the movies than in the books, but still in the books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, she came out and she was like, "Yeah, I should have gone with my initial instinct and put Harry and Hermione together." And we were all like, "Just stop, just stop."
Oh my God. She has issues. Yes, that it just didn't make sense. Like it was such a random time, and it didn't really push Harry forward or anything. And he didn't really. I feel like he didn't mourn it as much as he should have at all. Like your father figure just died. You're literally your godfather that you thought like finally I have a family.
Yeah,
and he's just gone, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, especially since he's a kid. He's supposed to be a kid. Like,
yeah.
Ooh. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
A video on J.K. Rowling, because I'd be interested in seeing that, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I just like kind of figured out what it was, because I had heard about the Poppy War sort of situation, and if I'm remembering correctly, it's sort of like the aftermath of like the Opium Wars, I think.
Makes sense.
And sort of like the nonsense that was perpetuated by the British Empire, and how they sort of essentially like destabilized empires in order to get the trade that they wanted.
Yeah.
I think if I'm remembering the correct book.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Thank you for the suggestion again, Allie. Official Mr. P said, never gotten the Harry Potter series. Well, you're rare. You're a rarity.
I stopped reading them as they came out after the fourth book, because I tried to read the fifth, and it was just so full of teenage angst. I was like, I'm already getting enough of that from my high school friends. Like, I don't need this crap right now. I'm going to wait till you're done, and then I'll pick it back up. Plus, I had friends who were, they would go and buy it and then like read it within 24 hours. And I'd be like, all right, tell me the highlights. Tell me if it's still full of angst. So
if it makes you feel any better, Allie, I cried over the volleyball too. So agreed. Yes, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I hate when characters like we have to pair them together. It's like, is nobody single in the fictional world ever? Yeah. Okay. Well, looking forward to hearing your perspective on that, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's a very different perspective.
There's I feel like I'm talking too much, but there's a set of graphic novels from the guy who wrote American Born Chinese. And so that one talks about his perspective about growing up in the U.S. But he has a different set of graphic novels, one called The Saints and one called The Boxers. And it's about the Boxer Rebellion that happened. And it's from the perspective of like the native who was a part of the Boxer Rebellion, and the other was part of the sort of foreign influence coming into China and trying to essentially be missionaries, I think, was how that perspective was. Okay. But it was very interesting.
I love like very different perspective books.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Hello. Welcome. About to do our third sprint. We can
stop.
exactly, like everyone has to have like a counterpart, and it's like
it's like we've moved our marriage expectations into fiction.
yeah.
So it's like when you go to your relative's home and, hey, do you have a boyfriend yet? Do you have a fiance? Are you married yet? Like all that. And now it's all just into the books. We're like, hey, does your character have a boyfriend yet? They're getting married, I think.
And like, so for me, in this fantasy, there's a lot of characters. So like overall, there's going to be like 2 or 3 couples, but there's like 7, 8 people total. So it's like obviously not everyone is going to have romantic relations, and it's not the point of the series. So I kind of put my desire for that into my own books, because what else are you gonna do? But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I too did not read it until later in life, so I still love it. But
well, I think my first exposure to it was I was leaning over my friend's shoulder when she was reading the like the Sorting Hat scene. I was like, why is this hat talking to people and telling them which dorm they should go into? This is weird. Like, this is when we were like 10 or 11, but I was just like, this is weird. So,
I mean, I barely do much romance either. I've added some kind of more than I originally planned, but
I'm trying to keep all my romance and lovey-dovey stuff in the romance novella. Like, do that there, and then just have the fantasy adventure. And
I'm kind of gonna do, maybe one of the next projects I might be working on is a fantasy romance. So I'll probably do the same thing and just have online in there. But apparently, if Jules would disagree with you and find that weird. So,
well, I mean, they did. So J.K. Rowling eventually started going down this route, and there is sort of like hints of that in the later books. But she spent the first 3 books setting them up to be love interests. And so then, like, all of a sudden she changes, and then Hermione and Ron are a thing. And I'm like,
why?
This feels weird.
I don't think it's weird, Alley Cat. So I'm again, that's me being like, does Harry have to be with anyone? Especially since he's like a teen. Like,
yeah. And I would get that. And I would be okay with that if she didn't like lean so heavily into those pointers in the first couple books. So
and like change it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you know, you're not going to be in love when you're young, you're not necessarily going to be in love with the same person forever. So it kind of makes sense. But, you know, in the fictional world, like the ship you start on is usually the ship you sail with.
Yes.
So.
And especially since you're like getting all your readers to be invested into this. Yeah. Oh, don't get self-conscious. You're good. I think it's more in other genres, and it's everybody has to have. No room for being your own person.
Yeah. And in romance, like you go into it and you know, like this person's going to have a partner.
Right. Like that's the point of it. That's why you pick it up. So,
but when you're in fantasy adventure, it's not necessarily the case, but then everybody starts pairing up, and like you feel like the awkward third wheel that you were in high school. You're like,
I think it's not so much that I'm like against romance in them. It's just I don't like, why does everybody, every you know, side character and everything, you know? So I don't worry about it. I mean, if I read every book I read, every fantasy book I read didn't have romance ever.
Like half of my shelves at least are romance. So
I ever wrote was a romance. So you're good, Charlie. I've done this as well. Yep. Totally. But let's see. I think the romance element depends on your category and genre as well as your target audience. Very true. I always like a smidgen of romance in what I read, but prefer a good fantasy sci-fi story with a well-done romance subplot on the side. Amen.
Yes.
Yeah. I just hope the love triangle in my book doesn't turn into a love clump or dump. I thought I read it as dump at first. Whoop. And so I've been thinking a lot about pairs in books. Makes sense. I mean, again, even a love triangle in there isn't going to be bad.
Yeah.
It's not too take over. I mean, if you're doing a fantasy, depends on, again, your genre. But there's no right or wrong. It's just can get annoying when it's just, I want fantasy, but all I'm getting is romance. You know? Yes, exactly. Aw, it's wonderful.
We like a successful romance in real life.
Happy marriage. If it's not a romance book I'm writing, relationships kind of just happen. I don't always plan it, but it happens. I think about it. If it doesn't work, I don't put them together. I think that's wise. I feel like every book tries to force a romance subplot right now, when the story could actually benefit from not having one. I guess they believe will make it popular. I think so. I think that there's almost this expectation of having it. And I think that's more of the issue is not whether it has it or not. It's just this kind of, it has to have it happen. And so all the authors just put a bunch in there and it's doesn't seem to make any sense or have any sort of logic. And they don't put time or effort into it. So it doesn't, there's no chemistry, I guess. Yeah. If a fantasy book didn't have a side romance plot, I would be sad, but that's just a personal preference. But yeah, some series everyone gets with someone, and that's just not necessarily agreed.
Yeah. And I feel like that is sort of like an unhealthy expectation because when you're in school, you know, you do have a lot of the hormones that are raging and all that. And then if all you're reading has the expectations that like you have to be with someone,
Right.
I think it pushes a lot more pressure onto our teenagers, and it's not fair because not everybody has that drive or that want or wants to be tied up into something like that. So yeah.
And I mean, talking about Harry Potter for an example, you did see a bit of that with Ginny. She was in several different relationships, but at the same time, I also feel like it's slightly unrealistic that so many couples that got together in teenage years stayed together and got married. Like, that's kind of unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently we all have something to say about this.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we all have that. So
you know what? Your characters be happy. I like that though. And I think that there's a place for that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Evil story mama moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, let's get to another sprint. I almost said, oh goodness, words today and yesterday. Oh boy. Okay. What do we want to do for a numbered amount? Does anyone have any?
How long were you okay to stream for?
Let's see. I need to be wise because I'm doing quite a few this month and I only have so many. Why don't we do like a 15-minute one just to wrap up?
Works for me.
Alrighty. Cool. We had some really great discussion today, though. So thank you all for
participating.
Very interesting conversation. Very pleasant. Alrighty. Oh, bye, AA.
I still think you should say it's author anonymous while you're here on AuthorTube.
Yeah, just have it be like,
especially with your current avatar with just the silhouette.
Yeah. Just have the joke be like extra secret and just it's authors anonymous. Anyways, agree. Great discussion. Yeah, sorry. You'll have to come join us again here soon. Alrighty. So 15 minutes and then we'll finish up. Say our goodbyes. Alrighty. I have to share the screen. That's right.
No, it's a secret timer. It's a secret.
All right, 15 minutes in 3, 2, 1, and go. Alrighty. That was our last sprint for today. You're muted. Jules, you're muted.
Oops. I broke the 5,000 mark, so that was what I was yaying about.
I knew you were
So
yaying. I just didn't know what.
Yay. I figured that would happen at some point.
It's hard to remember to do that.
All the buttons you need to press. Yep. So I've gotten 302 words for that sprint. So
very nice. I didn't do so well. I got 179.
Okay.
It's terrible, but not my best work. How did everybody else do?
I saw that Vanya was apparently got a plot hole.
I saw that your response, a ghost being ghosty, made me laugh.
Yes, a ghost doing ghosty things. So,
I would like focus on words, not ghosts being ghosty.
Sometimes that's all you need to say, though.
Yeah, I hate plot holes like that. I think the worst one I've ever had was I had a character fall in a well and really hurt their ankle. And
was it a dry well?
Yeah, it was a dry well.
Okay.
And then later they just got up and ran on it, and I was like, oh wait, like their ankle was supposed to be messed up.
Magical healing potion.
Oh boy. Let's see how everyone's doing. Allie got 498 words. Very nice. Still not finished with the scene. It always takes a little while to get warmed up. Yeah, that's true. I don't know that I'd ever quite warmed up in this stream. Don't know why. 714. Ended 2 scenes and finished a plot point. Thanks, guys. I'm so productive with you. Aw, thanks, Jack. You are doing awesome with your accomplishments. I'm so happy you join us and get stuff done.
Very much so.
Charlie posted today's videos, started uploading Thursdays. Wow. And finished the banner for the article on the Wretches, a counterculture I'm about to write up. Wow. Mm-hmm. You got a lot done today, Charlie.
I did.
Good job.
Impressive.
I know. I wouldn't read it weird if they saw it outside the window, even if on the second story, I would just assume a ghost can appear anywhere it wants. Yeah. True. Good point. I agree, Charlie. It's amazing. Or they could be looking out the window anyway and noticed it wandering, depending on what your characters are doing at the time or what your story's about.
Yeah. I guess the only problem would be like if you had already written the descriptions of like the haunted house to be like the second story windows are boarded up.
Right.
Then like you would have to then rewrite a part of the description to have like some of the boarded windows, like the boards falling off, or like gaps in the board so you can like look through, that kind of stuff. So like if you've written yourself into a corner in that manner, then it becomes a little bit more problematic. But
just have the ghost show up somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Oh, yay! I'm so glad. Hey, if coffee can count for 200 words, what does a hot dog count for?
You get bonus points if it's like a chili dog.
I think that's like, is that like the second time you told me about chili dogs?
Yeah, I don't know. Like plain hot dogs are good, but
Vanya, You killed it. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Seriously, super productive. I'm so happy. Yay. Oh, I'm so glad.
Good. Yay for fixing plot holes.
I agree, Allie. That would be really cool. So
even better if the ghostie has like poltergeist powers and can like move things, then you make the boards fall off the window, you go peek to see what happened, and
yeah. Ghosts defy physics. True. Very true. Kind of known for that. Wow, I am so happy about this stream. Everyone did so much. It was amazing. And thank you all for joining. And thank you for coming on and joining me today, Jules.
You're welcome.
Lovely to have you. I'm so excited for this month and all the live streams we're going to be doing together. It's a lot of fun.
Very much so.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, it's 2:03 now, and I think we're going to finish it up there. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you for, it's awesome having you all here and that you're all being super productive. So yeah, we have, I have my schedule down in the description, and make sure you check out Jules' channel, the Dawdling Writer, because she has streams all the time. So,
because I don't write otherwise.
We would never get anything done. Alrighty, well, thank you guys, and hope to see you guys all soon.